Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the DIB operations presentation this morning, and I would like all of you to scan on your way out. There's a little QR code on the banner behind you. So we are looking forward to hearing from all of you today about the DIB CS program. And if you have any questions afterwards, our booth is right there, so you can come over and see us. And so now I'd like to introduce our Deputy Director, Ms. Deidre Padgett. Thank you.
Well, good morning. My name is Deidre Padgett, and I'm going to be briefing you guys today on the DIB Cybersecurity Program and DIB operations. But before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you to AFCEA team for putting this conference together. We're having a lot of fun, meeting a lot of people, and making a lot of wonderful connections. So it's a privilege to be here with you today. But it wouldn't be possible without AFCEA's work. So I want to say thanks again, and thank you all for attending this session. I really appreciate it. Those that hear my voice, feel free to come on over and listen. Okay. All right. So before we get started, just one quick question. If you've heard about the DIB Cybersecurity Program, just raise your hand for me so I know you're aware. Okay, great. So I'm talking to an audience who knows a lot of good information already. All right, here we go. Okay, again, my name is Deidre Padgett, and I am the Deputy Director for the Defense Industrial Base, which is DIB, Operations Directorate under the DoD Chief Information Officer. So I joined the Office of the Secretary of Defense in July 2021, so not quite 2 years. I'm responsible for coordinating industry-facing cybersecurity standards, policies, and procedures with other federal agencies and industry. So I oversee the execution of the DIB Cybersecurity Program to enhance and supplement DIB participants' abilities to safeguard DIB information, and also for the information that strengthens our DIB and DoD partnership. So prior to returning to the civil service here, I was in the Navy for 30 years. I retired as a Chief Warrant Officer 4. I also worked in private industry as a risk management consultant as well. And I am a qualified U.S. Navy Information Dominance Warfare Cyber Officer. And for cybersecurity, I have a bachelor's in computer science from the University of Maryland, University College. I was told not to talk about myself too much, but if you guys have any further questions, just ask me a little bit later. So during today's session, I'm going to discuss the DCIO's DIB operations 4 primary lines of effort, which support the department's national defense strategy. So we will not be discussing CMMC today. Don't even think about asking. So DoD is unable to address any substantive aspects of a forthcoming CMMC 32 CFR rule or rule documents to include potential policy and implementation related topics under the rule-making process until it's complete. So the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, and the Information and Regulatory Affairs Office, OIRA, is the authority on the timeline and the status of rulemaking. That's it about that, okay? DoD, the department continues to be interested in protecting DoD information residing both on its own networks and industry's networks. DoD remains committed to the long-standing bilateral information sharing partnership established through the DIB Cybersecurity Program, and today we're going to focus on that partnership and related efforts for reporting cyber incidents. The DoD CIO is the principal staff assistant and senior advisor to the Secretary of Defense and Deputy Secretary of Defense for Information Technology. Now that includes national security systems and defense business systems. It also includes information resources management and their efficiencies. This means that the DoD CIO is responsible for all matters relating to the DoD information enterprise, such as cybersecurity, communications, information systems, and more. Within CIO, we have the Deputy CIO for Cybersecurity, DIB CS, which I will refer to. So we're responsible for the integration of defense-wide programs to protect the department's critical infrastructure against advanced persistent threats and assure coordination of cybersecurity standards, policies, and procedures with other government, federal agencies, coalition partners, as well as industry. DCIOCS priority is to support the department's cyber strategy and DoD CIO's vision to deliver an information-dominant domain to defeat our nation's adversaries. Policies and programs are designed to, first, ensure the joint force can achieve its mission in a contested cyberspace environment. Also, to strengthen the joint force ability to conduct cyberspace operations that enhance U.S. military advantages. To support the defense of U.S. critical infrastructure from malicious cyber activity that alone or in part of a campaign could cause significant cyber incidents. Programs are designed to also secure DoD information systems against malicious cyber activity, including DoD information on non-DoD owned networks, and also to expand cyber cooperation with interagency, industry, and also international partners. My team is part of the DCIO CS, and my directorate, which is shown on this slide with a star next to it, is DIB operations. My leadership has a regular cadence of engagement with the Deputy of Defense, Dr. Hicks, on matters relating to cybersecurity, with a particular emphasis on securing DoD information and systems on both, again, DoD and non-DoD owned networks. I'm interested on getting feedback from you today, and also with speaking with you, our industry partners, at the conclusion of this briefing on ways that we can continue to help strengthen the relationship and partnerships that we have with you now. The DoD relies on the Defense Industrial Base, or the DIB, to create capabilities for our warfighters. Through procurements from private sector sources, the department leverages the best technologies and innovations of the commercial sector in order to give our service members the battlefield advantages that they need to win decisively whenever called upon to fight. Securing the DIB from threats is a priority for the department. And recent examples of malicious cyber activity, such as the Colonial Pipeline, ransomware attacks, SolarWinds espionage campaign, those sorts of things have shown that our adversaries continue to evolve their exploitation of cyberspace. We need to be ready. The current geopolitical climate, of course, should have companies thinking on how they're going to defend themselves against cyber attacks, and also what the DIB companies can implement right now to become more cyber resilient. Cyber resiliency is my responsibility and yours as well, and we're going to work together to continue to protect the warfighter. The department has a strategic direction to better collaborate with and accordingly share information with the DIB, and vows to assist the DIB in understanding how to safeguard sensitive information and how to enable and protect the warfighter. Dynamically engage DIB partners so that they're equipped to meet the evolving threats. We vow to ensure accountability while minimizing barriers to compliance with DoD requirements, and also to instill a collaborative culture of cybersecurity and cyber resilience. Now, to complement the strategic direction that DoD CIO has, we've established 4 lines of effort that I'm going to be speaking on today. The first one is the cyber threat information and intelligence sharing. Next, the cyber incident reporting and response. Then there's the cybersecurity requirements and assessment mechanisms. And the last line of effort will be technical assistance and collaboration. So our first line of effort, cyber threat information and intelligence sharing. So simply put, DoD understands that more information that DoD can share with industry bidirectionally, the better informed that all parties are in the current cyber threat landscape. Sharing information enables our ability to quickly identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover as necessary to the cyber threat landscape. Multiple DoD components provide no-cost cyber threat information and intelligence sharing to the DIB, including DoD CIO, the DoD Cybercrime Center, DC3, and also the National Security Agency. Now, to dig into that just a little bit more, I'm going to focus on DIB's Cybersecurity Program. So our program was established in 2008, and the DIB CS Program is a voluntary and confidential partnership between industry-cleared defense contractors, which we refer to as the Defense Industrial Base, and the DoD. The program provides threat information sharing to strengthen the DIB and, in turn, the department. Participants are encouraged to share threat information and also to receive cyber threat analysis from the DC3 managed DIB Collaborative Information Sharing Environment, referred to as DICE. And so this is going to be the operational focal point for the cyber threat information sharing and incident reporting under DIB CS Program. In other words, DICE supports our program, so all the threat sharing information you send goes through them so they're able to help analyze them. Now, the DIB CS Program's participation includes access to the DIBnet portal, which hosts threat products and forums, as well as information about additional cybersecurity services and offerings that are available through this program. Participants also receive invitations to attend quarterly summits, semi-annual technical exchanges, and this is where industry and government experts provide briefings to everybody in attendance. They give you updates on the current cybersecurity landscape and any changes to policy. So all that stuff is discussed there. Recent major newsworthy cyber events have yielded dozens and dozens and dozens of advisories and warnings and other products that are put on that portal for our partners to review. And also, those same things are discussed at our quarterly summits and semi-annual technical exchanges. Okay, the program is codified in 32 Code of Federal Regulations, or CFR, Part 236, which establishes the information sharing construct. Also, the 32 CFR Part 236 establishes requirements and procedures for reporting mandatory cyber incidents. The DIB CS program is a voluntary program. It is not mandated by DFARS Clause 252.204-7012, which is the safeguarding covered defense information and cyber incident reporting, or by CMMC. However, we do highly recommend that those that are in the DIB and those that are eligible to participate, that you do so. We also stress that voluntary cyber threat reporting is highly encouraged. This is how you continue to help with that bi-directional sharing. Voluntary reports are anonymized, and participants ensure their confidentiality. So for the cybersecurity services offered through the construct of this program, it helps also to assist with the NIST 800-171 compliance and overall cyber resilience. Today, we have over 1,500 participants in our program, and the program continues to grow. Understanding that DoD needs to be able to share information with the broader community, DoD has put forth a proposed rule modification to the 32 CFR Part 236 to expand eligibility of the program from just cleared defense contractors to all defense contractors that are subject to mandatory cyber incident reporting requirements. That was a long sentence to say. We're working on it. We heard you. We put in to try to have this rule modified. Now, as an update, and hot off the press, I can tell you today, and you can tell I'm excited about this, though, the proposed rule through OMB's rulemaking process at the regulations.gov site is out for public review effective today. It's out there now. Thank you very much. That is exciting. It's out for public review. You guys have up to the 20th of June to provide your public comments. That's not a real long comment period. It's 48 days. We're hoping that you go out there, look at the rule, provide any comments that you need, okay? So we do this to continue to move forward to reduce the cyber risk and also to bolster the cybersecurity resilience of the warfighter. This has been a long fought battle, years in the making, and I'm glad to say that we're getting there. So thank all of you for your continued support on that. So I'm also interested to hear from all of you at the ending of this on how your company may already be obtaining value if you're part of the program. And then also from those of you that may become eligible in the future with a rule change. I want to hear from you. So I want to see if you're interested in participating, and for those of you that are already part of the program, how the program is assisting you day to day. We want to continue to grow this public-private partnership. All right, now on to LOE 2. So the next line of effort is the cyber incident reporting and response. The timely reporting of cyber incidents to DoD is critical because it provides DoD and the DIB Cybersecurity Program participants with substantial situational awareness of an adversary's incidents, and also to help inform future protection measures to help deter exploitation. Okay? The DoD CIO, through DIB Operations, manages the reporting platform DIBnet. It's located, I didn't put the website up there on this one, I'm going to show it on the next slide, but it's located at https://dibnet.dod.mil. Reports related to DFARS 252.204-7012, we refer to it as the DFARS 7012 clause, and also the DFARS 252.239-7010 are transmitted to and processed by DC3 DICE. DFARS 7012 stipulates a contractor's requirement to protect controlled unclassified information and to rapidly report incidents within 72 hours of discovery. And the 7010 clause addresses contractor use of cloud computing services. DIBnet requires use of a DoD-approved medium assurance certificate, which is often procured through the External Certification Authority, or ECA. That's what you need in order to submit your reports. These certificates take about a month to get. So if you're interested, go ahead and apply if you're eligible for the program. Your company's going to need one. If you ever have to report an event, we want to make sure you're prepared to do that. But if you don't have one and you need to report a mandatory event, DC3 DICE has a 24/7 hotline that they're staffed 7 days a week in order to take reports via that means. So I want to take the time to introduce Mr. Terry Kauka. He is our DC3 DICE counterpart. And he's going to be here also in case there are any questions later on about the DICE that you want to ask. So he's here, and I thank you so much for coming today, TK. So also note that the Defense Counterintelligence Security Agency, or DCSA, provides oversight of cleared companies under the National Industrial Security Program, or NISP. in order to protect sensitive and classified government-furnished information. DCSA ensures that companies are adequately protecting facilities, personnel, and any associated IT equipment from attacks and vulnerabilities, and also any incidents related to classified information are reportable to DCSA. When a defense contractor reports a cyber incident, DC3 informs several parties within DoD, including the contracting officer and the OUSD Damage Assessment Management Office, or the DAMO. Now, if DoD elects to conduct a damage assessment, all communication with the company is going to be initiated by the contracting officer. And they're going to provide instructions to the company for submitting the media. After submitting an incident, the contractor should preserve and protect images of all known affected information systems and any relevant monitoring packet capture data for at least 90 days from the submission of the cyber incident report in order to allow DoD to request the media or to decline interest. Damage assessment activities allow the DoD to understand the impact of the compromised information on U.S. military capability that's underpinned by technology, and also to assess the risk to DoD operational, technological, programmatic, and manufacturing capabilities. DoD needs to know if this information enables clone, counter, or kill. That means, does it enable an adversary's ability to reverse engineer? Does it enable an adversary's ability to counter, or does it enable an adversary's ability to defeat the U.S. capability? So this cooperation between the company and DoD enables our senior DoD leaders to make informed decisions and to remain informed about ongoing cyber activities in the defense industrial base. Now, with this screenshot, this is a screenshot of our DIBnet portal, and it serves several functions when you go to the portal. So you'll notice there are a couple buttons at the top. So the red button, which I don't know if you can read that, but the red button says report a cyber incident. This allows you to do just that, report a cyber incident. So using your DoD approved medium assurance certificate, this is known as the Incident Collection Format, or ICF, and the portal is available to all members of the DIB, not just to DIB CS program members. The application presents a series of questions to the users. It guides them through, it asks questions, just wants you to put in as much information as you can so they can go through and have the appropriate report type designated in the system. Today, the application supports 3 different mandatory reports associated with DFARS and FAR regulations. Members of the DIB CS program are encouraged to submit voluntary reports as well. Now, there's also a link in the reporting portal to allow them to bypass the mandatory report wizard and to proceed directly to the voluntary report form. So this is also a direct line to DC3, and in the event you need help or questions, you can access it through there. The blue button says DIB CS member login. Now, this is where all of our existing members log into the DIBnet portal, and also you have to have your medium assurance certificate. I believe you can use your CAT card as well to access it. So this section of the portal provides a direct link to voluntary cyber informational reports, threat products, and information to contact the team. If your program is not already a participant, you click on the DIB CS member login button and you will be directed to a program application where you'll be able to obtain the program framework agreement. And then once the company is verified that you're eligible, information about the cyber threat products, tools, services, and everything else that's located inside this PKI Protector portal is available to the program participants. If you scroll down the home page on DIBnet, there are also additional resources that are available to the public. Each week, DC3 updates the Cyber Threat Roundup, which is a collection of recent open source items of interest to the defense industrial base. And also, in addition, there are links to products that are produced by the DIB operations team, as well as the DIB guide to implementing the NIST cybersecurity framework. Before I move on, I just want to say one more time, TK, since you're here, I know you guys do the cyber threat roundups weekly. Can you give me an approximation of how successful those are as far as people going out and looking at them? Would you mind doing that for me, please? Thank you.
Sure. Good morning, everybody. Terry Kelka at DC3. The Cyber Threat Roundup is, as Ms. Padgett mentioned, an open source product. It's a collection of cyber incident reporting that we have reviewed and deemed relevant to our Defense Industrial Base collective. And it is one of the few products we offer to the entire public. So in terms of its success, we don't get a lot of complaints. But you know, if you need a one-stop shop for the Defense Industrial Base, there's a couple things about this portal that will help. One is the Cyber Threat Roundup. Two is, as she mentioned, and some of us applauded, the federal rule to open the program up to non-cleared contractors went out for public comments today. So we are on the verge of the precipice of the cusp of the wave of getting this program out to thousands and thousands of more companies.
Thank you
Good?
so much.
All right.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Glasses. Okay, moving on to the line of effort number 3, we'll focus on cybersecurity requirements and assessment mechanisms. So when it comes to cybersecurity requirements and assessment mechanisms, these are key clauses and policies that industry should be aware of from a compliance perspective, and then when conducting business with DoD defense contractors. DoD wants to ensure accountability when it comes to cybersecurity compliance while minimizing barriers to being compliant. DoD frequently hosts meetings and forums to discuss compliance-related issues and also to ensure that everyone has an understanding of what the requirement is and also to answer questions. Again, we want to help the DIB make the mark. Moving back to just LOE 1 for a quick moment, which was our information sharing construct, it assists this one by promulgating information on new DoD policies, processes, and programs, by owning event production for events and forums, or for DoD speakers to brief participants on regulatory changes, by creating and publishing information guidance such as the DIB Guide. DoD's communication about cybersecurity requirements and assessment mechanisms is very important. It's important because of the constant communication from the authoritative source. It reduces confusion. Also, it accelerates the adoption rate of new requirements. It increases cybersecurity awareness and accountability, and it also demonstrates partnership. On this slide, you'll see DFAR 7012, 7019, 7020 are key tenets of cybersecurity requirements and assessments. The DoD established contractual requirements for protecting controlled unclassified information in the Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation Supplement, or DFARS. The requirement became effective in December 2017. DFAR 7012 requires contractors who process, store, or transmit controlled unclassified controlled unclassified information to implement the 110 security requirements from the NIST 800-171. DFAR 7019 and 7020 establish assessment requirements and mechanisms for the NIST 800-171 implementation for DIB contractors. Okay, our final line of effort is the technical assistance and collaboration. Engaging DIB partners and instilling a collaborative relationship is a key tenet of this LOE. DoD components host events and forums to encourage direct collaboration and bilateral exchanges. Additionally, DoD components offer additional technical assistance if you need it. Now, we're just going to discuss the first two bullets here, then I'll discuss the next ones on the next slide. So first of all, I'm going to use the DIB CS program to highlight some examples of how this LOE works. The DIB CS program hosts quarterly summits with industry participants and government stakeholders in order to discuss relevant cyber policies and technologies. These meetings feature senior government and industry speakers, and they're held twice a year virtually and twice a year in person, so every quarter. The summits are 2 days long. They consist of discussions on policy implementation, operational issues, considerations for enhancement to the program, and other cybersecurity issues. Forums to foster ideas and explore technologies are discussed, emerging capabilities, challenges to architectural issues, and protecting systems and networks. Our next scheduled summit is June 14th and the 15th, and our invitations are going to be sent out via email. In addition to the summits, DIB partners can participate in a variety of working groups. There are 3 that are listed here, but let me see here. We have, the working groups have a more regular cadence than the summits do. They're held either bi-weekly or monthly. They allow partners to engage more regularly on specific topics of interest, such as cloud environment. They can visit the working group pages on DIBnet in order to learn more about these groups and how to initiate your involvement in them. DIB partners can also participate in the DC3 DICE Coordinated Technical Exchange, or we refer to as the TechX. So the TechX is biannual as well. It's a 2-day event, and it focuses on network defense. Agenda topics are available to DIB CS participants. They share best practices, tools, threat updates, and a lot more. So the next TechX is scheduled for September 25th through the 28th. Similar to the TechX, they can also, well, I don't think they do virtual exchanges anymore, but sometimes they do the virtual partner exchanges, or the VIPEX, where it's kind of like a TechX, but it's virtually. And it also and then they have the regional partner exchanges, which target either a specific industry or a particular geographical location. And lastly, DICE hosts web conferences and opportunities for more one-on-one discussions, such as analyst to analyst, A to A, or business to business. So as I say, more information on these events as they come up, we'll send that information out to you. A large focus of this section is the cybersecurity as a service offerings that various DoD components can offer to the DIB at no cost. I want to make sure you guys hear that, at no cost. We understand that many companies are faced with the decision of how they should spend their cybersecurity budgets, and it's the department's aim to provide cybersecurity as a service offerings to supplement a company's cybersecurity resourcing. Many of the department's cybersecurity as a service offerings are mapped to NIST 800-171, which DIB companies are expected to comply with. So providing tools to help these companies meet these compliance requirements is just one way that DoD partners with the DIB to reduce barriers of compliance and also to take a stake in a more secure DIB. So you see on the screen a couple of examples of the cybersecurity offerings that are provided by DC3 DICE and also by NSA's Cybersecurity Collaboration Center. So we have DICE Cubed, Crystal Ball, the Cyber Resilience Analysis, and also the Protective Domain Name System. Okay, just a quick recap here. The intent of this briefing today was to affirm that what we're doing here in DIB operations is to continue to foster a trusted environment where DoD and industry can collaborate in order to improve each other's understanding of the current cyber threat landscape, and also to raise awareness of the challenges that we must confront together to better support the warfighter. Increasing collaboration is a priority for this administration and for Congress, and here at the DIB CS PMO, we're ready. We want to continue to assist and to work with you. Of course, don't have a long time today, but if you're looking for more information on the DoD CIO DIB operations, we encourage you to visit us on the website. It's listed on the screen, but again, https://dibnet.dod.mil. You're going to find a few publicly hosted resources like fact sheets and brochures on how you can take advantage of the DIB CS program at no-cost tools that are available and services, on resources on how CIO is structured, and then where to turn if you're looking for more specific information. The Defense Industrial Base Guide to Implementing the Cybersecurity Framework is also there. It was initially published in 2019 and was developed by the DIB operations team working with the DIB CS partnership to implement the framework while also incorporating the security requirements from the NIST 800-171. Out there is also the manufacturing overlay. This was created to help secure information systems supporting manufacturing processes and was developed through a partnership with cybersecurity experts from the Defense Industrial Base Cybersecurity Program and also other government entities. The manufacturing overlay is intended to complement and then further refine existing security control baselines. Also, further tailoring the controls may be required for systems with additional security or operational considerations. This publication can also be found on the Risk Management Framework Knowledge Service portal. And if you want even more, we encourage you to check out our resources from our U.S. government partners. Their websites are also up on the screen. We have our DC3, DICE, NSA, CISA, all maintain public-facing websites that provide valuable information complementing the program resources found here on DIBnet. So if you have any questions from anything that you've learned today, you can swing by our booth on the exhibit floor. It's right on the opposite side of this container right here, okay? Right on the opposite side. We have people there willing to, standing there waiting to talk to you. The DIB CS program, which we highlighted in the LOE4 booth, is 3385. For those of you that want to wander around and then come back, 3385, remember that booth number, okay? So our partners at NSA and DC3 are also exhibiting. Their booths are almost right across. If you want to visit their booths as well to ask questions, you can. That concludes, hold on, let me see, that's the booth number, the layout. All right, so that concludes this briefing, however, but if you have any follow-on questions, you'd like to chat with us, make sure you visit the exhibit floor. Before you leave, scan this QR code for me to give you more information. And right now, and besides that, I'm sorry, I didn't mention, you can get social with us. Go out to Twitter. We have a Twitter handle out there, and also a LinkedIn page, all right? So I'm going to open the floor to any questions that anyone may have for me today. And again, one other thing. Now, I can't ask who's part of the program. I can't ask who's not part of the program. But for those of you that may know people who are not part of the program and they may be interested, especially based on the fact that the eligibility requirements will be changing soon, hopefully. Make sure you let them know if they didn't come to this. Yes, sir, your question.
Hi, Lieutenant Colonel Williams from JFHQ Doden. So after a DIB connection is established, how does the DoD go about assessing compliance of those connections?
How does the DoD assess compliance? I didn't hear you.
For those connections, for those DIB connections, after it's established, let's say years down the road, how do we assess to ensure that that connection is compliant with DoD policy?
Okay, first of all, you can have a seat, sir. I'm getting ready to get on my bandwagon. So that's not part of our program. I'm not going to discuss it much. However, the compliance portion, that's another division that handles that, so I'd rather not discuss that. But there are other agencies that take care of that within DoD, but that is not part of the DIB CS program. Okay? Yes, sir. Did I shut him down too quick and nobody else has a question? Not, oh, all right then. Well, guess what? If you guys have any additional questions, I'll be right next door at the booth. I'll stand by for you afterwards if you want. I appreciate you listening to me today and coming to support us today. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you so much.